It used to be a place for players to get in shape. Now they're already in shape. So it's kind of a giant waste of time. I really think you could do it in, I have decided you could do it in 24 days. You could do camp in 24 days rather than 7 weeks.
So you want to ruin these players' lives because they're looking to get away, okay? Go look at the age of these players and you probably have a couple screaming kids. You're looking to ruin their lives.
They're trying to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Why do you?
Why are they all there weeks early?
They were there. I mean, it's interminable as it is, and they were there a week early. Mm-hmm. It's not because they're anxious to see each other. They're trying to get out of the house. They want to get somewhere where they can get back to normalcy. And normalcy for them is work out when they want to, get in the cage when they want to, shag some flies, and then either get to the golf course or go have a nice meal and start drinking. This is normalcy for them. And the winter is not pleasant. I mean, if they're...
a lot of Mickey Mouse, a lot of crying, screaming.
What are some of the videos really young kids would be watching these days? My girls are older, so I don't know anymore.
Mickey Mouse is still very popular,
yeah,
but the new ones are PJ Masks, Team Umizoomi.
Dora the Explorer still around?
No.
God, that was awful.
Especially for you.
Awful.
Oh, man.
That was there was some really, really bad stuff. 312-644-6767. The worst stuff you watched with your kids. Dora the Explorer was bad.
So I'm guessing...
there was something called Comfy Couch, which there's no way you'd know what that is. You do, Melissa, you know what that is, Comfy Couch?
Yeah, the big Comfy Couch. I used to watch that one.
No, how old are you?
24.
You could have watched that.
No, I did, for sure.
So you had Barney years, right?
Oh, a lot of Barney.
Oh,
and then what was the real bad one with Tinky Winky and
the Teletubbies?
Teletubbies.
You had the worst years. It's really not horrible. I can deal with some of it now.
Oh, okay.
I can.
Well, I mean, when they finally graduated to like Lizzie McGuire, which I mean, when we got to like the Lizzie McGuire years, I was in heaven because it was actually something a human could watch. I mean, you watched it and you say, that's funny or that's not funny or it's entertaining but I mean, it was watchable. But the Barney, because what happens is they get hooked on the Barney specials, which are maybe 75 minutes, and it's an adventure, a Barney adventure. Melissa, help me. Like they're on a boat going somewhere, or trapped on an island.
They were mini movie series, kind of. Yeah. He would do the pirate ship themes, or they would go to the beach.
If your kids got hooked on them, that became like every day after preschool or whatever. That became a thing.
What about Arthur?
I did like Arthur. Yeah. I did like Arthur. Arthur was good. And, that gives you some idea where I was at that time.
Good?
I embraced Arthur. No, Arthur was by far the best thing we had.
Bubble Guppies is also very popular.
I don't know.
People texting in, Caillou is weird.
Caillou, hey, one day, Caillou came on in French, okay? If Caillou wasn't bad enough, one day they played French Caillou. I mean, what are you supposed to do with that?
That's the worst thing in the world.
What are you supposed... I mean, Dad,
get worse.
Dad, why... I don't understand it. Well, I don't understand it either. I can't help you. I can make out a word here and there. Oh, man. So, boy, if I had to rank them.
Bad list?
Yeah. It's got to be.
We should have done a tournament of bad cartoons.
We could. This hour of the Laurence Holmes Show is brought to you by Ryan Kelly. Visit thehomeloanexpert.com. Ryan Kelly's got to be thrilled right now. He's thinking,
he's getting his money's worth.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna go Teletubbies. That's number one.
Don't forget about the Wiggles. The caller just
Wiggles was really
so weird,
really dreadful.
That's super weird.
We saw Wiggles live at the Rosemont Theater. We saw Arthur live at the Rosemont Theater.
Did it freak him out?
There was some stuff in the Arthur that was scary. There was some bad things that happened.
We went to an Easter thing, Easter egg hunt, and I don't think my children could figure out if the clown was scarier or the big bunny. My daughter flipped the bleep out with that bunny rabbit.
Everything the Wolves do is good. I mean, everything the Chicago Wolves do is good. I mean, it's just a phenomenal program. It's a phenomenal product. They are so family friendly. But the mascot, Skates, is a wolf. okay? And one day I took the kids, because the kids were, when they were little, they took skating lessons. They liked to go free skating. One day we went to a rink. I don't remember if it was probably Vernon Hills, and Skates was there. And it scared the daylights out of them. They would not go back on the ice while Skates was out there. Big giant wolf? Scary. Yes. I mean, it's a good costume, but, maybe not for a 3-year-old. All right, so I got Teletubbies. I got Comfy Couch. Caillou. I didn't even understand Caillou. Melissa, did you watch Caillou?
Nobody does.
No, Caillou was too
That
young.
was after you?
Mm-hmm. But I know it's very weird, and I've heard a lot of parents don't like their children watching it because he's kind of a brat, I think.
That is true.
Yeah, and so they don't want their kids to watch this little bratty kid be whiny and stuff. SpongeBob SquarePants? Did you watch that one?
I did watch it. Well, my kids were a little bit older at that point, and my oldest didn't really care for it. My youngest thought it was funny, and I thought it was funny.
My dad loved SpongeBob.
Yeah, I liked it. All right, so I got Teletubbies, Comfy Couch, Caillou. What are we missing? What do you named a couple other
Barney.
Oh, I'm putting Barney second. I got to re-rank these. Barney's second.
Did you get Blue's Clues?
I liked Blue's Clues.
It wasn't bad. It's not.
I liked
compared
Blue's
to the shows you're talking about. It wasn't that bad.
First of all, it was
my son watched it a few times.
It was educational, and I learned things. All right,
but the kid dancing is a little weird.
Why are you laughing, Melissa? I'm a simple guy. I learned to process things. There was some logic involved. There was plus I liked the songs. I like the songs.
Clues.
Yeah, I like the title song. I like the what's the one with the mail? Where they're going to get the mail?
Yeah, mail. Here's the mail. It never fails. It makes you want to wag.
Yes,
that one.
I like that one. See, Joe, when your kids are tell me you don't understand this. When your kids
I do.
Are really little,
you think I don't know all these theme songs?
You grasp onto what is at least something that passes as I shouldn't use the word entertainment.
I can't turn on the television and it not be on Disney Junior at any point in time. Yeah. That's just.
But you don't know how good you have it now because you've got like 6 or 7 different options. We had basically Channel 11 and Disney, and
most of it now
because even like Nick at Night, the stuff was it was not suitable for little kids.
Well, and you can always go to Netflix now,
right?
So there's always something.
Right, and on demand
DVR exists,
and
right?
And DVR, yeah. We had VHS tapes. Of the same.
Rewind it faster.
The same stuff.
Joe, does Jack watch The Little Einsteins?
It's been on television. He'll stop and watch it once in a while. He's seen a few episodes, but not as much as right now. The show for him is Team Umizoomi, and that's educational. I don't mind that. That's not bad.
So I got for review. I got Teletubbies, Barney, Comfy Couch, Caillou, and we're missing one. We're missing one here. We got a great text on it just a minute ago.
Powderpuff Girls?
No. Melissa, you're not helping. Come on, you watch some of these things.
Oh yeah, I forgot about.
Did
Paw
you say
Patrol.
the Teletubbies?
I got Teletubbies. Well, there's my top 4.
That's enough.
I need one more really bad one.
Why do you need another one?
Because it's not it's 4. That's not a list. 5 is a list.
Is this going to be Sunday's column? It should be.
I don't have a better idea right now.
Wait, say your 4 again.
I got Teletubbies, Barney, Comfy Couch, and Caillou.
The Wiggles.
Oh, Dora the Explorer.
Oh, Dora the Explorer.
There we go.
Duh. The first
one
you
bad.
mentioned.
Dora the Explorer.
It wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it was awful. It was.
Swiper, no swiping.
Oh. And my youngest daughter was afraid of Swiper because Swiper stole. She didn't know where Swiper came from or why it was there or what it was. She worried it might show up and steal. Stranger danger, something like that. I guess.
You know.
And Wiggles, I got the Wiggles. All right, so I got 6. I'd like to get this to 10, if you could. 312-644-6767. Can you imagine if Lawrence knew what we were doing to his show?
Seriously, what some of the stuff he talks. I don't know what he's talking about half the time. When he gets to the TV shows or some of these comics, I have no idea what he's saying.
He's a big comic guy, right?
Yeah. Some of it I don't know. He talks about movies. I haven't been to the movie theater in about 7 years. Well, it feels like 7 years. It's really been almost 4.
You're in your blackout phase. Yeah. How old is your oldest?
He'll be 4 in the fall.
Okay, so what year is this? This is
2016.
Okay, so from 2012 to about 2020 will be what you'll know then as your blackout phase. Like, you won't remember having done this show.
4 more years.
You won't remember. You won't know anything about pop culture. You won't know any. You won't have seen it. You'll see a movie come on, like when you actually have 5 minutes to yourself for the first time since your first child was born. You'll see a movie just all of a sudden one night at 11 o'clock on HBO, and you'll go, "This is great. What is this?" Like, I didn't see Good Will Hunting. Good Will Hunting came out in 97 or 98. I saw it 6 years later. And I thought, it's now easily like a top 10 movie for me. But I didn't know it. I didn't know who Matt Damon was. I didn't know who Ben Affleck was. I didn't know that they had won an Academy Award at 20 years old or whatever it was. I didn't know any of that.
Well, that's the thing. All these award shows.
There will also be, you can't watch the award shows.
Well, they come on. People are talking about them. I don't even know how to pronounce the names of people being nominated. I don't know who they are or what they've done.
Yeah.
No clue.
No, and you won't know anything about music. You won't know anything about TV shows. You won't know any of this stuff. The cool thing is, there will come a point where suddenly you'll become hip again because your kids are. And you'll know things about the language, the current state of language, the current state of television and technology and music especially. Like, I like a lot of the stuff that my girls like. And frankly, it's not that much different than the stuff we used to hear in the clubs in the 80s or 90s. But I mean, it's really the same kind of stuff. But you will, Bob the Builder and Dragon Tales. All right, that's good. Dragon Tales is on the list. Thank you, Melissa. Are you getting that from calls? Are people calling to help us?
Yeah, people are calling in.
Thank you, callers. Thank you, texters as well. Dragon Tales, that's on my list. Because that became, see, the thing is once kids find something, especially when it's new, then it's just every day, 5 times a day.
Well, yes.
For months.
See, this is what...
For months.
What I'm trying
Bob the Builder wasn't... I didn't find that to be awful.
I'm trying to eliminate him from asking me to turn on Tom and Jerry. My mother-in-law
they can't really,
turned it on for him once, and he won't stop watching it.
But Tom and Jerry's really violent, isn't it?
This is why I'm trying to get him to stop this. I sit there with him, and I'm fascinated, and I'm also cringing at the same time. I can't believe this was for children. I can't believe it. They're shooting each other. They're hitting each other over the head with hammers. They're beating the crap out of each other. I'm still amazed.
When my kids were little, they watched a lot of hockey with me. When Mama wasn't around, they watched a lot of hockey. But hockey's not violent anymore. I mean, you can't hit anybody anymore. You certainly can't fight. You can't break your stick over someone's head. So it's not like it was when I was a kid. But so, I mean, it's really not bad. And I would put golf on, too. So they actually, when the majors come around, they don't mind watching golf. But that's when Mama wasn't around. Bob the Builder wasn't terrible. That wasn't terrible. But compared to some of this other stuff, here's my top 7 right now.
Yeah, 7.
Teletubbies, Barney, Comfy Couch, Caillou, Dora the Explorer, The Wiggles, and Dragon Tales. I could use 3 more. I hate to do that to Bob. Hate to do that to Bob the Builder. We played a lot when we played Pretend at night. We did a lot of Bob the Builder stuff.
So you need 3 more for your Sunday column, and you'll be good.
A list has either got to be, it's got to get to at least 5, and if you're going to get to 7, you got to try to stretch it to 10. You got to get to 10. Could use 3 more. 312-644-6767. Melissa's doing a great job of screening calls and taking suggestions.
This is exactly how the show meeting went. We talked about this. It's worked out perfectly.
People are going to think that we did. How did this happen?
I have no idea.
But
I don't know how I get to work most days.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Well,
I'm in the blackout.
Yeah, this is your blackout phase. My Little Pony. Never saw My Little Pony. We played with My Little Ponies, but I never saw the show.
By the way, the Virginia-Iowa State game, that's already over. That's done.
Oh, boy. That's the Fred Hoiberg effect.
Come on. We're not going to get a repeat of this. All the chalk just killing tonight?
4 blowouts last night.
I don't want that again.
4 blowouts. The phone lines are jammed. What is going on? Melissa, what's happening?
We said something wrong.
How did we even get on to
I
this?
have no idea.
I mean, if people really want to talk about this, they'd actually like to come on and talk about this, I'm okay with that. If they have strong feelings on this or need to disagree with me on some of these, I dare you to fight with me about Teletubbies.
Do you have, of that list that you've made so far, for you,
do
you have a 1 seed?
Oh, it's Teletubbies.
By far.
Oh, Teletubbies. I mean, we could play this tournament for a year over and over and over again, and it's going to be Teletubbies. Teletubbies is a 22-point favorite in every game before it even starts. 312-644. Every phone line is now jammed.
And people are yelling at me about Tom and Jerry. Well, I watched it and I didn't hit people with hammers. I understand that. I'm not concerned about my son getting a hold of a gun because I don't have one.
We have to take a break. I
sit there and I watch it with him because that's what happens. And even though I know I shouldn't be doing that.
Thank you, Joe Ostrowski. Thank you, Melissa, for answering all those calls. The phone lines were jammed. Every line was jammed because people wanted to help. As I make my list of the top 10 worst shows I ever had to watch as a parent with my small children.
Father has their list in their head.
Do you have any clue as to how we got onto this subject? Melissa, do you know where this began? I sort of need to know the genesis of it. It's bothering me. It's not important, I know, in the grand scheme of things, but I'm wondering how we got here. Wouldn't you like to know?
Idea.
Does it matter to you or no?
No.
Okay. Then we'll just leave it there. All right, so here we are. I texted my family, my wife and 2 girls, and asked them for the worst stuff we ever watched, and everyone within seconds texted Teletubbies. I mean, instantly. Okay, that's how simple that was. I got several other good candidates, some of which we had written down already, but a couple that I had forgotten. Boohbah.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't know if you know what Boohbah is. That's really bizarre. I mean, really strange.
You are in a horrible era.
Oh, you have no idea, Joe.
See, but now I can
decide
if I hate something, I'm not going to turn it back on. And there are so many. There's
options.
7, 8 TV channels for it, 24/7. There are cartoons on at 1 a.m.
See,
it doesn't matter.
This is what's amazing. It's not even that long ago. I'm talking about 1995 to say 2003 era. There was nothing. I mean, it was Channel 11. It was Disney. It was Nick. And that was it. Am I right, Melissa? You're only 17? How old are you? How old are you? Melissa, what are you? How old are you?
24.
You're 24. Okay, so you know all these shows that I'm talking about. So I got Boohbah, and I got something called Big Rock Candy Mountain, which was it was more like a movie than just a regular TV show with episodes. This was kind of a movie, but it was
like the name of an acid.
It was it's the kind of thing you would want to watch on acid. Believe me, it was a musical, and there was another one just like it, which was identical that went by a different name. The same thing. Big Rock Candy Mountain. That was bad, and then Clifford, the Big Red Dog.
Yes,
which the books I didn't mind so much. Didn't mind reading the books. But the TV show, bad, really, really bad. So I've got my 10.
Column done.
I've got my 10. But we've got calls on this, so let's get out to the phones at 312-644-6767. Steve in Aurora, you're on the Laurence Holmes Show, and I'm sure he'd be thrilled that this is the subject tonight. How you doing?
I'm great, and I'm sure he's thrilled, absolutely.
Well, he has to be. I mean, this is an important subject, which I have no idea why we're even on. But now that we're here, let's figure it out. So what do you got for me?
From the early 1970s, H.R. Puffin stuff. It was about a boy with a magic talking flute and these giant stuffed monsters battling a witch, and it was horrifically just terrible.
Thank you, Steve. I don't remember that show.
I remember the name. I never saw
H.R. Puffin stuff?
Yes.
I can't. I remember the name, but I don't remember seeing it. It's not on my list. Not on my list. I need more help with my list. Pat in Bridgeport, you're on the score. Good evening, Pat. Thanks for calling.
Oh, hi guys. Have you ever seen Noddy before?
Noddy, is that current?
Actually, my son's he's about 11. It was when he was like 2 or 3, and basically it was an English show, but they had a gnome called Figures who was in charge of everything. It was horrible.
Thank you, Pat.
You know what does suck? That's still on TV, and my son doesn't even like it that much, so I just stopped even trying, even though he's obsessed with trains. Thomas sucks.
It's funny.
It's so damn boring.
It's funny that you say that, because John in Pingree Grove is on the score. Good evening, John. You have a candidate.
Good evening. Yes, Thomas was excruciating. I actually wanted to gouge my eyes out with a fork watching that. And then I watched it one time, and George Carlin was on. I'm like, oh, George Carlin. No, it made me dislike George Carlin after that.
You hate him?
I don't think we saw a lot of Thomas the Train. I mean, again, I remember the books and I remember the toys, but what was the show like, John?
Excruciating. It was basically just a show going around, and they talk, and there was like a narrator talking about the show.
Yeah, this train was mad today. They all have their names. He was being mean to this train, and Thomas comes to save the day. Is horrible.
John, do you feel like some of these shows probably destroyed some brain cells and made you question your humanity during some of those years?
It made me not like my kid for a while because he wanted to watch it all the time. Thankfully, he got into hockey, so he's paying it back, paying it forward now that I get to watch him play hockey instead of do that. So.
Excellent. Thank you, John. Yeah, I
think a texter's right here about how we got onto this topic.
Okay.
Because I know you're concerned.
Okay.
When we were talking about players needing to get out of the house, that's why they show up early at spring training.
Thank you, texter, at 670-111 on the Grossinger text zone. Thank you for that. Yeah, this is why they're trying to get out of it.
This is on TV.
You know what this does to your brain? It turns your brain to oatmeal. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa, she knows what I like. It's the kind of stuff I like. Hey, I'm not ashamed. I watched Hannah Montana.
Well, that's what she likes too.
I like Miley. Okay, I mean this is what I am. This is what my life has become. All right, I have my 10, but first let's talk to Brad in Glenview. How you doing, Brad? You have a candidate for us?
Yeah, I have a few, but I want to preface this by saying that I can't believe that this is why I'm calling into the show to begin with.
Listen, Brad, we're not even certain that this is occurring, that we're actually doing this right now. So
I thought this was a podcast.
I mean, you can call back later if there's something, if you feel like there's something else, so you can redeem yourself. But we're happy to have you nonetheless.
Awesome. And there's no maximum to this list, but
no.
Let that also be known. But there's a couple things a couple shows that I can't believe you've already not said. One is SpongeBob, which is want to blow your brains out type of TV. And then the Doodle Bops. My kids are 11 and 5, and the Doodle Bops were playing 24/7. I mean, when you have like on demand and you can keep watching the same thing over and over and over again, pretty much drives you crazy. And then when your kids are really little, the Baby Einstein stuff, that stuff will make you want to jump off a roof or play in traffic.
Thank you, Brad. See, Brad's angry. And he's being honest.
But once it's over, shouldn't you be done being angry?
No, I'm still angry. All right, so Doodle Bops, he said his kids are 11 and 5. So that would be right between my kids and your kids. So neither of us really saw Doodle Bops. So I don't really know that one.
I don't know. I never even heard of that.
But you hear how mad he is. See, that's
still pissed off.
That's how
11. He's still angry.
Yeah. And I liked SpongeBob. I mean, that for me, that was a big step up from what I had been watching. So I embraced SpongeBob. All right, so here's my list. I feel very good about this. And thank you, Brian, on Twitter, for giving me one of these, which I had completely forgotten. You know, you try to remove these things from your mind, and yet some of them are still there. So here's my list. Teletubbies, Barney, Comfy Couch, Caillou, Dora the Explorer, The Wiggles, Dragon Tales. Dragon Tales should really be higher. Dragon Tales should probably be like a 4 seed.
Well, the committee did a horrible job.
I might have to rework some of these. Boohbah, which I barely have recollection of. Oobi, O-O-B-I. That's what Brian gave me on Twitter, was Oobi. I forgot about that. That was, that was truly idiotic. It was just hand puppets. And Brian says there was a foot, too.
Who is Brian?
He says, if you're not familiar, this is Brian on Twitter. He says,
if
you're not familiar, it's a bunch of hands made into puppets that talk, and then there's also a foot. Disturbing. He said disturbing. See, this is what it does to you. This is what these shows do to you. So I have Oobi and then Clifford. I can't really use Thomas the Train because I don't remember seeing it all that much.
Yeah, this is a list for you. Here's the problem. You have your list of 10. You can't, if you're looking to get a champion, but Teletubbies is your champ anyways. That's the chalk.
It's not close.
But now you have matchups. You go 10 to 5. You have to get to 12. No, you don't. You can go down to 8.
You got to make me do 16?
No.
Do I have to have a full bracket?
No more. No, because it's not of all time. It's just for you, for your blackout period.
You hear how mad people are, though. You hear how angry people are.
Just move on. But you had a horrible era.
My choices were not good. I mean, when you say Teletubbies, when you say Barney, when you say Caillou, Comfy Couch, Dragon Tales, I mean, I start to get physically ill again. It was that bad. Thank you, callers, texters, and those of you who have tweeted. Really appreciate your help with this. I don't know why this happened exactly, but it did, and now you know why Jason Hayward went to camp in December